You're listening to 8158 Podcast Stories of Sacrifice. But today, this is Off Duty, a special series inside the 8158 Podcast where we bring back past guests, pour a drink, and talk about life when the uniform comes off. No calls, no scripts, no pressure to relieve the heavy stuff. Just real conversation about who we are outside the job, the laughs, the lessons, and the life that happens after the shift ends. So grab your drink of choice, get comfortable, and join us for the off-duty conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of 8158 Off-Duty Edition. Today's guest, we have a return guest, Robb Watts. How's it going, brother?
Man, just making it, one day at a time.
That's all we could do. That's all we could do.
We're not promised tomorrow, so I just try and take care of today.
Yeah, today's important. Tomorrow's, something that could be tackled tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. Took a long time for me to get to that point.
So what else have you been up to lately these past few months?
Man, I had another neck surgery in 23. I had two-level fusion. No, I had a one-level fusion. And then in 24, I had another fusion. So I had C5 through C7 fused. And then I had a posterior surgery where they go through the back of the neck.
Yeah.
And that's pretty painful. The others are painful, but that was probably worse. And I kept having trouble, so I went to a different surgeon. And both of those fusions had failed. And at C6, I didn't have enough bone left to screw into. So they took all the hardware out, and at C6, they did what's called a corpectomy, and where they took all the vertebra, everything out of C6, and they put what's called an expanding cage. So they just put it in there, screwed a couple screws, and it expanded in height, and then put another cage on top of that that fused from C4 down to C7. And that's a big surgery. And
I
had that March 5th, and I'm still using a cane to walk with.
Oh man.
And I fell about a month ago and went head first into sheetrock, and I went to the doctor, had a CT, which was clear because I was looking at the hardware. Then I had an MRI, and I've got a compression fractures from T1 down to T3.
Man.
So, yeah, it's been a long road, really, since 2020. In 2020, like, I had a Harley. I could do whatever I wanted to do. Had a good job, and then I got COVID.
Right.
And I was in the hospital for a week. They gave me remdesivir, which now is known for a lot of side effects.
Yep.
And one of them is kidney failure. Well, I'm in stage 3 kidney failure, so I have to deal with that. My potassium goes way high. My heart rate drops down. Like the last time it was 37 in my protein. So I got to go to the ER and I got to do a bunch of stuff. And so then I had 3 knee surgeries, spinal stimulator put in, I broke my leg, 4 neck surgeries, cataract surgeries. So since 2020. And I've worked in between, but over the past year and a half, I haven't been able to do much of anything.
Man.
So, but it happens with, a lot of people that I've worked with. Your body just eventually can't take anymore. And, a lot of us have had knee placements, shoulder replacements, of course, all kinds of back fusions and all that stuff. Same thing with necks, knees, shoulders, back, neck are the worst things, other than the mental side of things. These are physical things that most people don't think of, especially the ones that did it before the battery operated cots.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have that. And we didn't have the stair chairs. We had to put them on, if they couldn't walk, it was either put them on a cot or put them on a spine board. And hopefully had some help. And eventually, you just, your body can't deal with all the punishment that you put it through. And I had additional punishment for some jobs that I had, and but so that's what's been going on with me. A lot of surgeries.
Man, you sound like a hot mess, brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Some days, some days for sure I am. But that's just, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I got it. One of my best friends, he can't work. His wife, she was a paramedic. She's had knee replacements and a shoulder replacement, and she's not working. And I'm going to tell you, first off, what it's done for me though is it's taught me a lot of humility, and patience. Um, like I used to be, country strong.
Right.
You know what that is. You grow up and you're lifting heavy stuff all the time.
Right.
Throughout your adult life, you're you're just strong. And but now it's bad. I'm not strong, and you kind of feel like an easy target, which you are. Um, but you just have to get through it best you can.
Right.
But family's good, so. But I'm we can talk about this now or later. But a lot of us, and I'm doing it right now, is trying to get approved for disability, bro. That in and of itself will make you want to eat a bullet. They they a government wants you to be off work for 2 years, right? And you can't make no money even if you can work.
Jeez.
And because of all the fraud,
Yep.
there are able-bodied people that could do any kind of job they want. Somehow they're on disability. And so I've got the last step for me is to have a hearing with a judge. After that hearing, it can take 3 or 4 months to get a yes or no. Then if they say yes, then you get back pay. What's another 2 months? You know, it's just ridiculous, dude.
That's like 5 months
Ridiculous.
on top of the 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're looking at almost 3
3
years.
years. Yeah. And there's
You know
people,
what I mean?
yeah, there's people that they can't work, right? And maybe the last couple of years, like for me, I had sales jobs. Well, that's cool. but like I can't look down at a computer for more than 15 minutes. I can't stand up and walk around for probably more than 20 minutes, you know. And they said, well, you can sell stuff. How am I going to sell stuff? You know, can't can't walk very long. Can't look at a computer very long.
Mm-hmm.
But it this reiterates what I've been saying the last 4, 5, 6, 8 months maybe, is that first responders need to have the same access to benefits as the military do.
Right.
I'm taking nothing away. And I'm not saying we need to be in the VA, but there needs to be something.
Something similar to a VA for first
Yeah.
responders. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even the hospitals, right? Just a way that going through what we go through, all the injuries, you know, uh, we should be able to apply like they do,
Right.
and not have to and I'm not saying it's easy for that process for the military guys and girls, but holy crap, you think it'd be easier than this nonsense, because it is nonsense, dog. You
Right.
know, and but I mean, get on a soapbox, but I firmly believe that first responders do need that access. A lot of the stuff, like with PTSD, really comes out hard 5 to 11 years after you've left the job, and trying to figure that alone, when if you get down to where you're in crisis mode or coming out of crisis mode, and you're trying to figure that out yourself. I mean, it's a if you don't have a lot of support, a lot of friends, like close friends, that die for you,
Right.
that can help you navigate that stuff and ask people, hey, do you know anybody that does this? You know, uh, it's tough, you know. Um, it's expensive,
That's for
you
sure.
know. Uh, but yeah, because if you really think about it, military, their deployments are like special ops is maybe 6 months to a year, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Conventional military, they're a year probably on the deployments, I would think. First responders, your whole entire career, if you look at it this way, is your deployment, because you might you work a shift, however long that is, whatever your shift schedule is. Well, you're not really off. You know, you may have had just a really bad shift, and you had 2 or 3 PD codes. And you are maybe you run on a child that died in a bathtub, which happens, and then you go home, and while you're off, you're supposed to give your kid a bath,
Right.
right? Then you go back to work, you know, and then you come back home, you can't sleep, you you just get so on edge, you know, and but we really do need something, because our entire career, we're gonna see a lot of things. We're gonna uh there's a lot of danger involved in our jobs, whether no matter what you are on the first responder side of it, you know. Um, so when you're on duty, you're on duty, and you might be relaxed, but you're still ready. You get home, it's hard to get out of that mode, you know.
Right.
to not be ready to do what your job is, you know, having whoever yell and cuss at you and all these things. Where now I'm at home, you know, and I don't want no loud noises. Quit being loud, right? And there's no telling how much I missed. I got 2 girls. How much laughing I missed because I would just shut up, you know, and so that's what a lot of life looks like after you get off the job, you know, and then trying to hold down a job. Like since I left that, I hadn't had a job longer than 4 years really. Or
Right.
business. I had good stuff, man. You know, I live in Arkansas and duck hunting's really big. So started making duck calls and I had a machine shop with lays that cost $50,000 and I had 3 of those and I had a mill that cost about 40 and, you know, a laser engraver that cost 30 and
Yeah.
it was good, you know, but for some reason at some point, you know, I self-implode and I messed this up. The deal with that was just my drinking went out of control. I drank the business into the ground.
Jeez.
But so I didn't mean to go off on there, but
All right, good.
I'm not trying to get nobody to feel sorry for me, and neither do the people that I'm friends with that I worked with, you know. But just to let people know that you get injured, your body wears out, and we have to A, figure it all out, obviously, but B, it costs us a lot of money, you know, even with insurance,
Right.
it costs a lot of money. And, you know, it's really hard to find a job after you have done that for so long that fulfills you, you know, that has a bigger purpose than yourself, that you're around people that you can trust with everything, you know, while you're, uh, on any kind of a scene in any fire. If you're having trouble at home, if you got to move and you need people to help you move, you know, that's the kind of people that, for the most part, that are around you when you're in those professions. When you get
Right.
out, not so much. If you start having a different group of friends a lot of times, right? It's not the same, you know. And it's hard to, you know, when you're in it, it's hard to figure out what is going on, what's wrong with me, you know, because we're different. We are
Right.
different, you know. Our jokes are different. How we treat each other is different, you know, by just cutting each other down and talking you this and blah blah blah. And there's no malice in it, right? It's just
Right.
how we joke with each other. And uh, you know, you can't do that with other people. It's weird.
Huh.
It's weird. So
Yeah, they're on a different playing field.
they are
Yeah,
for
they're on a
sure.
different level.
And I'm glad, truly glad that the people that uh A, the people that are first responders that don't have these problems, because not all of them do, right? A lot of it has to do with where you work, the call volume, when you worked, you know, and also how much you worked. Like you made a living on overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people still do, probably. So that adds to the wear and tear of everything.
Right.
But so that's that. What you got next?
That's that. That's that.
I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me, but it's the reality,
Well, I don't think anybody will be necessarily feeling sorry for you. I think it's a good message to let everybody know that this is what happens. This is what you go through with the job. We're going to have a lot of issues. Like you said, you used to be strong. Now, with the job, it takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
There's only so much a human body can handle before it starts to break down.
That's right. And you can look at examples like that everywhere with athletes, military, those are all interface examples, right? In the military, if they're doing a lot of rucking, they're having knee replacements. They're having fusions in their back. They got neck problems. And then, same thing with athletes. They're, they're going to have the same problems, not the mental problems, but
Right.
so, or if you've got someone in the executive world where it requires, long days and long hours, right? And to be great at something, it takes sacrifice, right?
Right.
And that sacrifice is time, right? But the bigger sacrifice, unfortunately, is a sacrifice to our families. Because if I'm 100% and I'm super focused, I'm gonna go to work early and I'm gonna work late, and then I'm gonna come home and probably go to bed, get up early, right? I'm gonna
Right.
miss things like every first responder does. You miss birthdays and holidays and doctor's visits and ultrasound visits when your wife's or your girlfriend's pregnant. I mean, big things,
Yeah.
But I don't I don't know that many people would have a regret of doing that profession, first responder wise.
Right.
There's some, but everybody I know said, heck no, man, I'd do it all over, you know.
It served a
But
purpose.
yeah, for sure, I think now though, like with the people that I talk to that are still in it, they're old like me, the people coming in, the new hires are way different. They don't like the kidding around type stuff, more sensitive type deal.
Yeah, I was
So,
just going to say, it's a little bit more
mhm,
sensitive these days.
yeah, more into their feelings.
Right.
But, you know, our, our grandparents probably said the same thing about us. Oh, this generation, they don't know what work is. And they're probably right because they didn't have air conditioning or indoor
Right.
plumbing. You know,
Right.
we are soft compared to them. Yeah. So what
Yeah, they're
I
definitely
was
built different.
yeah, no doubt. And then you think about um people in the 1800s and the 1900s and the depression and all that. What I'm going through ain't nothing compared to what they went through.
Right.
What I'm going through ain't nothing compared to what a lot of people going through right now. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You just gotta deal with it. And some days you have good days, some days you're gonna have bad days, and you're gonna have some good hours and some bad hours. You gotta, you know, um, celebrate those small victories.
Right. It's funny
So,
how every job has its, issues. Like
mhm,
trucking, for instance. I've
yeah,
been driving truck for 20 years and it's emotionally, mentally, and physically draining job. And a lot of people assume
mhm,
it's easy. Oh, all
mhm,
you do is drive a truck. Well, it's a lot more than that. to the story than that.
Yeah.
For one, you're dealing with crazy drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Then you deal with DOT all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The stress with that. And then you got to deal with bumpy roads
Yeah.
and getting slammed around because air rides are not very good on the body.
That's right. Like a fire truck.
I got back issues myself.
Sure,
I got
driving the
problems.
truck. Yeah.
Necks, everything, running flatbeds or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then dealing with drivers cutting you off, brake checking you so that, it's emotionally draining there, plus physically because, flipping you off for no reason.
And cussing you. That'd be hard mentally, man. I'd be wanting to get out of that truck every time. It'd be tough. Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it's no easy way.
Right.
For sure. And there's stress in every job, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely stress with every job.
Mm-hmm.
Not all jobs are easier. It's just some jobs are a lot harder and a lot of mentally draining jobs.
Sure. And
high stress.
It takes everybody, to make the world go round, and like, I know some military guys that were conventional military, and they're like, man, I regret not trying to get in Ranger Regiment or SF or this or that, and like the guys that I know had those jobs, like, man, that ain't no big deal because without them, we couldn't do what we do,
Right.
But if it wasn't for people making dumb decisions, you wouldn't need as many EMS, police, and fire. So stupid people is job security for us.
Job security.
And nurses and ERs and all that.
Well, I definitely see a lot of that on the roads myself, especially when it rains and when it gets icy and snowy. For some reason, the people seem to drive a whole lot crazier in bad weather than they do in nicer weather. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I think because they get so tunnel vision. If you get so tunnel vision through this little circle, that's a bad deal. And I think people that especially haven't had to either work or they didn't learn under high stress environments, they get tunnel vision really quick.
Yeah.
And they don't look around at what's going. They're going a lot slower, and they're
paying attention
more
to their phones.
they're more hyper vigilant, and they don't know what to do with it. So it's a lot easier being up north when it snows than down here because we just don't have the equipment.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of accidents up north. I mean, when I first got my CDL, I was in Montana, and it was in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
In the dead of winter, I got my CDL. When I got the first time I got a driver's license was in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
So, I'm used to that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people, and it's kind of funny that when I first got a CDL, I was totally afraid of big rigs, like big trucks. I was scared of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much anymore because there's more confidence. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, sure.
I have a lot of confidence, and it seemed like the more confidence I had, the slower I got. Like the more aware of everything, and the more experience I had, the more respect I had for the road. Seeing a lot of accidents, a lot of deaths on the road, all that stuff.
Sure.
There's a lot more respect for the road.
Yeah. And you're probably have much more situational awareness around you because you drive thousands of miles every year, and you're watching out for your other people more than you're watching out for yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so I would think, and I guess it would depend on where you drive too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but being around people, is a difficult task
Especially stupid people.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. Even like going out to dinner, somebody gets loud and starts arguing, or just stupid people, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, I just, I just don't want to be around it because I know what it does to me, and I know what I could potentially do to people, you know?
Right.
So maybe not so much now because I'm just a weak old man.
Jeez.
Every purchase made through one of our affiliate partners helps offset the cost of producing the 8158 podcast, allowing us to continue sharing stories that deserve to be heard. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's difficult. It's
Right.
difficult for sure.
It definitely is.
Hmm. You know,
Even for
I was,
myself.
yeah, for sure. Especially you. I mean, burnt out on people, on stupid people.
Yes.
You know, that's a that's a big deal. I think in the especially like EMS, it's worse now. But all these BS calls, and they're using the ambulance company as a taxi.
Taxi service. Yep.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with them. And if they want to go by law, you have to take them. You know,
Right.
and if you keep getting that throughout the day, it makes you not as good as an EMT or paramedic eventually.
You get frustrated, I imagine.
Yeah. And I think, you know, complacency could happen. Maybe something is wrong with him. You're just calling BS, right?
Right.
And you miss something really important. And uh, you know, unfortunately, a lot of those people that you pick up are not clean at all. They smell, you know, and they just, you know, it just wears on you, man. And not to mention what in a waiting room for 3 or 4 hours, and you've got people that they're not sick. They just need to go to a doctor or an urgent care, not in
Hmm.
the ER, you know. But you know, they don't have to pay a lot of them.
Right. I
So,
mean, take for instance what happened to Graham Hoffman. You remember Graham
hmm,
Hoffman from Kansas
yeah,
City?
yeah, yeah, hmm, yeah,
How did that slip through the cracks? He was just doing
hmm.
his job and ends up getting
Refresh my
murdered.
memory about it.
Graham Hoffman was a paramedic firefighter in Kansas
Uh huh.
City,
Yeah,
and they had picked up a
yeah.
subject, a woman, by the police. They picked her up. She
Hmm.
had priors for other things, and she had some kind of wounds on her. They were just taking her to the hospital. They could have just put a Band-Aid on it or something.
Yeah.
And apparently she had some kind of a sharp object on her. And when
Hmm.
they had her loaded up in the back of the ambulance,
Hmm.
she attacked him and killed him in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes me think about that is like when I started, where I started working per capita, it was second in the nation in violent crime and murder rate.
Yeah.
And there's two ambulance services, and there was a rivalry. We didn't wait on the police to go to any of those situations, you know. And uh, what that did for me and for the people I worked with, you had a lot higher and more advanced situational awareness.
Right.
Your critical thinking is a lot faster and more accurate versus you know, if you're in Kansas City, I'm sure is busy, right?
Oh yeah.
But if you are working somewhere and you don't have to deal with a lot of people like that, right? Then you're going to be complacent.
Right.
You know, the chances of, you know, and this could have happened to anybody that's working in the back of that ambulance, you know. But I think that a lot of times probably the back of the ambulance is kind of a safe place, if you will, for when you're an EMT and a paramedic. And that's where you start doing a lot of work, and you can get focused on the work that you're doing, and you're not
Right.
really looking, you know, at the patient kind of deal. I could see that happening pretty easy,
Yeah.
you know. Um, yeah, I could see that happening pretty easy, you know, especially with the mental health challenges these days. Um, from the public, you know, mental health is such a bigger problem now, and uh, so it's a, you know, it's a different world out there, some good and some better versus the people that did it, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s versus now, you know, it's just different, I'm sure,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, complacency is a bad thing, you know, and success can build the most complacent person in you, you know,
Yeah.
because you're winning, you're doing all these good things, you're winning, and if you take those wins personally, like, yeah, I'm doing this or that, then you can be overconfident
And
and
then, yeah,
start missing stuff.
you're right.
I'm not saying this happened with that dude. I don't know anything about it, but I just know that it can happen.
Right.
You know, I do see more like on social media where maybe a paramedic is going to prison for hurting somebody, or what was the one guy? I think maybe he gave the wrong medicine
Oh
and
my
killed
gosh.
somebody. Yeah. But two, that also, you know, a system like an ambulance company or a fire department that works multiple days in a row and you don't get no sleep if you're busy, uh, chances are some people are going to miss stuff because they're so tired, you know. Um, but yeah, it's, you know, you can, as much as you can help people, you can kill people too,
Yeah.
and
If
you
you're
can
not
get
paying attention,
and you can get killed,
that's for sure. We've seen
you
that
know.
happen.
Yeah. Uh, and it's becoming more and more prevalent, you know. And you know, you gotta be aware and have some sense of how to protect yourself.
Yeah. Definitely got to watch your surroundings a little bit better
Hmm.
these
My,
days.
my,
I'm always watching.
Me too. And my wife and girls probably they get tired of me because like watch your surroundings. You know, going to Walmart or wherever. Watch your
Yeah.
surroundings. Be aware. You know,
Yeah.
do you, do you have this or that? You know, I've got them keeping bear spray in their vehicles.
Yeah.
And another good one is like wasp spray,
Mm-hmm.
'cause it sprays out there like 20 or 30 feet.
The stream. Yeah.
Hmm. And that's why the bear spray is so good too. It's super powerful, but it sprays like that, you know. And biggest thing you want in a potential bad situation with someone is space, you
Right.
know. And if you hit them with wasp spray or bear spray or mace, what it does, it gives you time to get away.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's, that's another reason I don't like going anywhere, because in my head, I'm thinking of all the potential.
Right. Especially when it comes with vulnerable women who are alone. And we've heard this a lot with women going into stores and being followed, and there's weird things on their cars and all the dirty tricks that people are doing to snatch them. And
yes,
I'm always telling my wife to look out for stupid things like that, because you never know.
Quit looking at your phone when you're walking
somebody
in the
comes up
parking
to you,
lot.
take off.
Yeah. Yeah. Start screaming, whatever, run back to the store, get inside where there's people.
Yep. Call the police.
Yeah. If you think you're going to run, if somebody's after you, wanting to get you, and you think you can run to your car and get in your car real quick, they'll catch up with you 90% of the time, probably.
Right.
But
if you're running towards people, there's a chance they're not going to want to pursue.
That's right. That's right. Situation, you don't want to run to where there's nobody.
Right.
Right. You want to run to where there's people. But nowadays, who knows if people would step in and help?
Yeah.
When, like the lady, was it in Georgia, where the dude stabbed her in the neck and she died on the train or a bus or something?
Oh, yeah.
And there's people just standing there watching.
She was an immigrant from Ukraine. Yeah.
That's
young lady.
Yeah. People were just standing there watching, dude.
You just stabbed her in the neck.
Yeah. And there's examples of that all over the place.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is. Very sad that our country's gotten to where it's at.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to get rid of a lot of the illegal immigrants who are obviously criminals, mostly criminals. But even if you come in this country illegal, you're basically a criminal. But especially the cartels and all the gang members and all the people that were released from prison that are here, that's primary focus. But also you got to focus on the mentally ill people
100%.
who are walking around the streets, because you never know what they might pull.
Yeah. For sure.
Whatever voices are in their head, they're telling them to do whatever.
Yeah. And those mental health, those, schizophrenic diseases and bipolar diseases, dude, I would only wish that on the people that are the worst people. You know what I'm saying? But those are horrible, horrible diseases to have.
Right.
I'm not saying that those type of illegals need to be deported. I 100% agree with you. I get kind of on the fence, like with ones that have a job, they have a company, they're paying taxes.
They're doing good for themselves.
Yeah. And maybe they came across 20 years ago, right? But because they came across illegally, they can never get citizenship.
Right. I would like to see them obviously get a chance to reconcile that. They deserve that much.
They do. Yeah. 100%. And like the ones that come over on the whatever the Visa cards are. Yeah. Because, not only does it help them, it helps the people that are hiring them greatly, and a lot of times, especially like in the farming communities, they'll hire people from different countries. They put them up, place to stay. They pay for all their food, and then these folks are able to send back more money to their family than they would probably make in a year.
Right.
So it benefits. There's benefits to everyone, not just one side.
Right.
But yeah, I wish there was a way that those people that are, man, they're everything that America's about.
Right.
They love their country. They're not committing crimes. If they if they get a speeding ticket, they're paying a speeding ticket.
Right.
You know? But these folks that hate America, yell death to America.
Yeah.
There's going to come a time when people are going to have to respond back to that nonsense. You know?
Yep.
And some people only learn from one way. And it's not talking or debating or even arguing anything.
It's violence.
Right? Yes, sir. And unfortunately, you know, some people will be pushed around. Some people are sheep and some people ain't sheep.
Right.
You know? So, but people have to be ready to do whatever, everything that it takes.
Right. Stand up.
You know?
I mean, especially for this country, you know,
Mm-hmm.
real Americans, even if you're an immigrant and you have denounced your former country and you decided that this is your home, this is your country, I imagine those people are willing to stand up to fight for this country.
Yeah.
Because they believe in it.
Yeah.
Just like you and I do.
They're not gonna, you know, there's radical religions everywhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when they get
Look
to
at New
that
York.
radical standpoint, you know, there's no difference between the most radical Baptist or Catholic or whatever, right? Than the Muslim that's radical.
Right.
They're all wrong and don't need to be here, in my opinion. Right? Yeah, but look at Michigan.
Yeah. It's horrible.
You know? Yeah.
New York's really bad.
Yeah. I think
Minnesota.
Yeah. So I used to guide duck hunts was one of my jobs that I had. And I was hunting with this guy and it's weird because like I didn't know he was a cop. He didn't know that what I used to do. And you just kind of pick up on things, I guess. Right? It's how people answer questions or ask questions maybe and our goofy responses. But he's like, "Were you a first responder or something like that?" I said, "Yeah." Well, this guy was a Minnesota state trooper.
Oh, wow.
In Minnesota, state troopers investigate every murder in that state.
Oh, wow.
Well, he was the lead investigator on George Floyd.
Okay.
And all the stuff that eventually came out about that, he told me. Like, he didn't die of asphyxiation.
He died from a drug overdose.
Yeah. You know, he got so worked up and he probably had a heart attack or something like that. Right?
Wasn't he on like methamphetamines or something like that?
Yeah, and he may have had some fentanyl. I can't remember.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But that'll definitely kill you right there.
Yeah, for sure. If you take enough of it or you take something that's got too much of it in there, yeah, for sure. And I like the crap out of it. You know, they give it to me like I had to have a bunch of back injections and stuff like that. And they'll give me some of that, you know. I'm like, man, this is nice.
Right. But they give you the appropriate amount to relieve the pain.
For sure. Yeah. But what were we talking about before that?
About the radicalisms, like Minnesota and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, George Floyd.
Yep.
So he told me everything that eventually came out. That the coroner report that was out was not the original coroner report.
Really?
Yep. He said those police officers, they got railroaded because there was so much evidence that the prosecution didn't let come out, you know, because they were all wanting this to come out one-sided, I believe.
Because it was a political thing, political stunt.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that really hurt the country. That whole thing, that whole time when there was all those riots, right? It pitted people against each other.
Yeah.
And that's what an enemy wants. They want everybody getting mad at each other, right? I know chief at the fire department. And when, you train every day, dog, every day. And if you go a certain amount of time without a fire and all you're doing is training, you start getting short tempered,
Right.
It's all you do is train, 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 train. You don't get to use what you're training. Well, why am I training?
Right.
Guys that start getting snippy with each other. What this guy would do, the chief, he'd start making everybody mad at him. He'd have us do something. So we're all mad at him. But at the end of the day, we were all together, right? Because we were mad at him, And a lot of times you just take something that small,
Pretty good tactic.
Yeah, right. And that's how communism was started.
Right.
Let's give you some free housing, free transit, free grocery store, whatever it is, it's free, right? They get you locked in and dependent on it. And then everything else they say or have you drink, you start drinking it. You say, okay, this is cool. Then they got you.
Yep.
Like what's happening in New York.
Yeah. I am not very happy with New York. I do not like that mayor.
Nope.
He does not belong in this country. I don't think he belongs to politics purely, but
in some other country.
Yeah, he needs to go back to Iran.
Yeah. Yeah. Be whatever there. If you're gonna try and do what you're doing to America,
Right.
It's it is a weird time to be living in the United States, or period. For me, I'm a Christian, and some of the things that are starting to happen really go, towards what's in the Bible, towards the end of time.
Right.
And people got to start living right. I believe in Jesus, and I really believe that if it wasn't for God, I'd be dead.
Oh yeah,
For
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
Several times over. And but it's a deal. It's just like addiction. You can't force someone to get help. You can't force someone to want to get saved, right? They have to do it when they're ready.
Right.
It's an everyday commitment to be sober. It's an everyday commitment to try and live like Jesus did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to do bad. It's a lot harder to do good.
Right. Totally is. Totally is.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We will return after this quick ad break.
The William H. Bill Butler Jr. Foundation is on a mission to honor first responders and support those who serve. We provide scholarships for families who have lost a hero in the line of duty, offer second chances to juvenile offenders who are working to rebuild their future, and help new recruits pursuing careers as first responders. Through generous donations and the sale of merchandise, we're building a community that uplifts, empowers, and creates lasting impact. You can be a part of this mission as well. Visit 8158podcast.com to donate or shop today. Together, we can support those who serve, honor those we've lost, and give hope to those who need it most. Behind every badge is a story, and behind every story is a sacrifice. This is the 8158 podcast, where we honor the lives and legacies of first responders and their families. If our mission speaks to your heart, if these stories move you like they move us, join us on Patreon. For just $5 a month, you'll get ad-free listening, exclusive merchandise, behind-the-scenes content, and video episodes only available to our patrons. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, and you can be a part of it. Support us at patreon.com/8158podcast. Let's continue to share the stories that deserve to be heard. There's just something about that first cup of coffee. For a lot of us, it's not just a routine, it's a reset. Before the shift, after the call, or in those quiet moments when everything finally slows down. That's why we're proud to partner with Fully Involved Coffee, a brand built around something bigger than just caffeine. This is coffee for a cause. Fully Involved Coffee supports first responders, veterans, and the communities that stand behind them. Every bag, every cup is part of a mission to give back to those who serve. And the coffee itself is fire. Small batch roasted, high quality beans, bold enough to get you through long shifts, early mornings, and late nights. From strong, no-nonsense roasts to smooth blends and even flavored options, plus tea if that's more your speed, they've got something for everyone. This isn't just good coffee, it's coffee with purpose. Head on over to 911gogojuice.com, use the promo code 8158 at checkout to support the mission and save on your order. And when you sign up for their monthly subscription, you'll get 10% off. So whether you're on duty, off duty, or just taking a moment to breathe, Fully Involved Coffee, brewed for those who serve and those who stand beside them.
I'm definitely a Christian as well, but I've had some friends that were Muslims. A couple of my friends from when I was a kid were from Afghanistan, and they told me that what they believe in is just like Christianity. Peace, love, and all this stuff. It's not all of the radicalism that's going on with these other countries. It's the same as what the Bible teaches. So I don't understand where they get their ideology from on how to hate America.
Yeah, and I'm guarantee I'm talking out of turn. What I understand with Muslim, and this is like just a speck of dust of understanding. They don't believe Jesus is a living God. They believe Jesus was a prophet.
Okay.
That came, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 years before Muhammad. They believe that Muhammad, I think, I'm not going to say what Muhammad believed. I do know that they believe that Jesus was a prophet, right? But the Gospels, I can't remember on Mark, Luke, James, one or two others. Their writings are all historically from what they saw and what Jesus said. Muhammad, he didn't. He wasn't even born yet, right? He was born between 500 and 600 AD. And so I think that's the big thing that with Muslims, the radical that's a big different thing with Muslims, right? As far as it goes with Christianity, and that's the one thing that I know, which is nothing, right? Like I said, it's a piece of sand, but I think that's a big thing. They believe in Jesus, right? But they believe in God. I think that as far as all that I know that I've heard about, they believe that Jesus was a prophet and not the living Son of God.
Right.
So, but they're not, and I agree. I've been around some Muslims, and they're nicer than a lot of people that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, but it's just the radical ones,
Yeah.
The ones that I know and the one that you were talking about, they're not out there yelling death to America.
No.
They're not saying that everybody in America has to be a Muslim. They're not saying we're going to make everybody be a Muslim. They don't believe in Sharia law,
Right.
And they know those people are no different than us.
Right.
They pray differently and they have a different belief structure. That's okay. That's what makes America great.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I think has built America. You just got all these people that have come together, right? And but then, the ones that end up getting focused on and talked about more is a radical side.
Right.
And that's unfortunate for the ones that are not radicalized.
Right.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But yeah, it's weird times for sure.
Definitely some weird times, and we're getting prepared for some things because we don't know what might happen.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're getting ready for whatever comes our way.
I think most people that are and were first responders, certain people that did different things in the military, we're all getting prepared for the most part. Some train more than others, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think I'm a big believer in self-rescue.
Yeah.
Because if you're out there and shit's really going down and nobody's coming to help you, nobody,
Right.
if the grid goes out, no electricity, and you got certain things that people want, they're gonna come and try and take it.
Yeah.
And it's up to me to figure out how I'm going to protect it.
Right.
And
Same here.
yeah, it's just some decisions that people will have to make that could be some of the toughest decisions they may ever make in their life.
Yeah, it might be.
At some point, but yeah, you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, people are praising transgender boys and girl sports. They're celebrating these things, right?
It's ugly.
And the Bible talks, you start promoting, celebrating those kinds of things. It's getting close.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, though, it's going to get much worse before Jesus comes back.
Right.
This ain't nothing, right? This ain't nothing.
Just the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Start.
We've gone a long way from what we started. I like it. I think it's cool, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
I'm good with whatever. This is your deal.
Yeah.
I just started rambling, I think.
I know my wife and I, we have this thing, and I've talked with her about this. We have cameras, we have our self-defense in our home. And it's like, if anybody breaks in and we're in the bedroom, you do not go out that door first.
That's right.
You let me go first.
Or if you don't have to get to another room because of kids,
Yeah.
Right? You stay in that room or you post up, you know, you get those kids, if you get them into if there's no danger, right, then you can get them back to your bedroom. If
Right.
there are, then your wife's in that room. She's got her angle.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your angle, you know, but, yeah, it's, it's all of that. You got to have it.
Right.
And, I'm not about just wounding somebody either, you know,
That's for sure.
or their accomplices.
Accomplices.
Yeah. I mean, that'll tell a different story.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
My primary focus is protecting my wife. We don't have any kids.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's right.
I have 2 daughters, but they're,
Mhm.
older. My youngest daughter just got married and she's in Montana.
Oh, yeah.
And, she married
Mhm.
into a pretty well-off family. They own a ranch in Montana, so
Oh, that's awesome.
they're going
Got
to
you a
be
place.
fine.
Got you a place to elk hunt?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
But even on private property in Montana, you have to have an elk tag.
Yeah.
And in order to
There,
get an elk tag, you have to win the lottery. Like it's
you
a
got to draw it.
Montana. Yeah, you have to win. You have to pay the money for the lottery, and then if you win the tag, then you get to hunt for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's only
It,
for elk, not for deer, because elk are very
mm,
sacred there.
well, yeah, and they make more money killing elk.
Yeah.
Outfitters and in the
Oh
state,
yeah.
you know.
Right. It's like $500 just for the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We call it drawing for a tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, depending on what section you want to hunt, depends on your odds, you know, and how many when you apply for an elk tag, you get points, right? So
Right.
every time that you either get selected, you don't get selected, it asks you points. Now you can use your points at some point to get into a better area to draw.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it, I'd love to go up there
Montana's beautiful.
and hunt.
I tell you
Yeah,
what, yeah, you have to go. If you ever get a chance,
mm-hmm,
go to Western Montana
yeah.
and visit the Mission Mountain Range, Flathead
Mm-hmm,
Lake. That whole area is
yeah.
gorgeous.
Is that close to the Tetons?
The Tetons are in Bozeman area,
Okay.
around that area.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been there, but I was on the east side. I was filming coyote hunts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of my jobs. I was a outdoor videographer and field producer for
Nice.
hunting shows and stuff.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I got to travel, go to places that I never would have been able to go to, see animals hunted and killed that were never like in high fence stuff. They're
Mm-hmm.
just in their natural environment. Hunted those, just saw everything that they do, you know.
Right.
Um, and I mean, it was an awesome job, but it is not very good for a home life because you have to make a living in that. You got to
Right.
stay gone a lot, you know.
A lot of hours.
Yeah,
A lot of hours. I mean,
lot.
just imagine all the hours you have to sit just with filming just to
Hmm.
catch whatever it
Enough,
is you're trying to film.
like TV, enough footage for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
right? And what you see in footage from behind the camera is like 28 minutes or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot, and your job is to try and tell a story behind the lens of that camera,
Right.
right? And, if you're sitting there hunting whitetail deer in a deer stand, then you have to get a little bit more creative, things like that, because you're not just going to show, here comes a deer, he shoots the deer, there goes the deer, we find the deer. You got a lot of stuff in between, a lot of filler, a lot of B-roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conversation, thoughts, ideas, experiences, that you can put in there. And it's not just hitting a record button.
Right.
You really have to pre-plan and things like that to get a show. And you either have to do that, like if on television, you can buy 26 slots, just 26 weeks, and you pay for those. Or you do 52, and you got every week of the year you've got a show. Now the way they do that is if you buy a 26 week, you only have to do 13 shows, because
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have that many 13 weeks of reruns, right?
Right.
And you have to do a lot of stuff to have 13 episodes.
Wow.
We'd like to thank the companies that stand behind the 8158 podcast. Their support helps us continue preserving the stories of service, sacrifice, and resilience that inspires us all.
You got to have a bunch of stuff for 26 episodes, Um, but man, getting to go to the places I went and see the stuff that I saw, just to get paid for it.
Right.
That was almost wasn't right, and got to meet some really cool people,
Right.
so, which was way cool, especially if you like to hunt and stuff,
Absolutely.
and you generate some creativity and whatnot. It's cool, but, I did that for about 6 years.
Man.
So no, it wasn't 6 years. Uh, maybe 4, maybe 5 years. I got really big in it for about 3 years, where I would start in September. No, I'd start in, August, go to Canada, stay up there for, a week to 3 or 4 weeks sometimes, come back home for a couple days, then go, you do that cycle throughout the hunting season. Then you got maybe a month off. Then you start filming snow goose hunts, and then turkey season is over. Let's just say May for the most part. So you're filming from September to May, and all those are, you're out of town or out of the country. And for
Right.
fillers, I would shoot commercials. So I'd go places and we'd shoot commercials, you know. So you're always, always gone. And which I was used to, you know. I'd done that before. I was gone a lot, when I worked EMS.
Right.
Uh it was very cool, you know. Part of my back problems, a big part with my neck, I fell about 20 feet off a cliff one time and landed on my back in
Oh
New
man.
Mexico. Yeah. We're filming Western Diamondback snakes being released. We went with this snake guy, and he catches all these snakes and stuff. And so we went down this big ravine, and we were having to boulder slide, sit on a boulder, and then slide down to the next one. And we're about 12,000 foot elevation, I think it was. So I was smoked. Put my hand on a
Dang.
rock, and the rock broke. I was going to sit down. The tip of that rock broke off. Went,
Oh no.
uh, yeah, fell over that. Carrying heavy stuff, you know. But it was a very cool job. Very, very cool job. Um, And then like I told you, I was a duck hunter and a guide, and I was competition duck call, which is what got me into the outdoor. Where I was really blessed in this. I was able to leave EMS and fire and go to what was my dream job, and that was working for one of my good friends. He owned a duck call business, and I was his sales manager for about 4 years, maybe longer than that. It was longer than that, 6 or 7 years probably. And we were able to grow it and grow it and grow it. Where when I really needed and had to leave the fire department, I was able to go and start working for him with something that was, I mean, it was my dream job, you know, because come duck season, we hunted every single day, unless it was raining, you know,
Right.
um, and got to blow duck calls, help people with their duck calling and all that, you know. But I was able to go to work for him full time, and I just imploded about 4 years later, and
Man.
quit that. And but through that, I was able to make a lot of connections, and that's how I was able to get the filming gigs and get started in that. Um, so uh, then I filmed. I did that for, I guess I did that for 5 or 6 years. Um, and then I got, I used to volunteer with this nonprofit called Darby's Warrior Support, and these guys were Army Rangers, and then also former Army Rangers, right? And the guy that founded it, he was a retired brigadier general, ranger, pathfinder, and then transitioned into clergy. And, they had bought some land. They had leased quite a bit of land, so they had close to 1,000 acres.
Mm.
And they needed somebody that could take care of the ground, get the places ready for hunting season, and then come the fall, you're guiding them, right? And who you're
Right.
guiding is all soft guys, you know, Marines, Army, Navy. I don't. We may have had some Air Force guys, and you know that was right up my alley. Just because what I learned is that we're not much different than they are. The military guys, our sense of humor is the same.
Right.
Um, we, as far as like the whole PTSD thing, we all get there in different ways, right? How they got it is different than how I got it. But at the end of the day, at some point, we're all sitting on the same pile of stinky shit. You
Yep.
know, it. I really, really love that job. Love. Uh, and the reason that I left, I got fired. Actually, I got fired. Was I was going. This is when I started having all these troubles. You know, in 2018,
Right.
and I was in a mental hospital on a 7-day hold. Then 2 or 3 months later, I was on another hold for 7 days, and uh, I was still. And when I wasn't there, like I wasn't in jail or nothing, you know. When I got done, I went back to working, but uh, they ended up firing me, which I was surprised that they ended up firing me because they knew everything that was going on. I was very transparent, and I think that at the end of the day, and they've got it now. I think they were just looking. They really wanted a former uh, ranger to be in there.
Right.
So that's what they got. So they're doing well, doing great. But so it allowed me to drink a lot. I drank a lot
Hey.
because I was by myself all the time, which really was not the greatest thing for me, you know. And the demons that come back after you
Yeah.
come out when you're by yourself, you know. But uh, then after that is when I went to rehab, and I got done with that, and I was trying to find a job. It was tough, you know. My skill set is not like it's different than most people's, you know. EMS, firefighter, duck caller, you know. So, but I had a friend of mine. He had a business, and they carried New Holland tractors. It was a tractor dealership,
Hmm.
and so he hired me as. I went out and I would work with municipalities and help them with parts and bidding on new equipment and stuff like that. And then eventually I moved inside and I was the uh, manager of everything. Well, I, I worked there maybe just a little over 4 years. That number four keeps popping up. But he was forced to shut it down because uh, he had committed fraud to the tune of 10 or $11 million.
Mm.
So the finance company came, shut it down. The company their uh, bought the area, you know. So they opened theirs up. They didn't hire any of the former management, and I understand. So I was without a job for a little while and couldn't find one. So I took the real estate exam, and you know, housing market crap. Just my luck. Uh, and man, people, you know, hey, let's meet at so and so time, and like they never show up. They don't answer their call. Um, let's meet and let's write up the offer tomorrow. Cool. Oh, we changed our mind. You know, have a big deal. You know, like developing a piece of ground for
Right.
homes, building homes on it. Done. These guys are flying in to sign it. Before they leave, said, hey, one of my partners, he's having second thoughts because of what's going on in the housing market.
Jeez.
So, um, same thing with hunting ground. You know, I had a group dude that was a done deal. I found them a place that in the area exactly what they were looking for. They didn't do it. And it's a lot of work, you know, finding that place, going up to look at, checking everything out, and I just wasn't built for that. You know,
Yeah.
don't tell me if it happens once or twice. You know, people not showing up. You know, that's one thing, but just repeatedly, it would just seem like failure after failure.
Right.
And maybe I sucked. That could be it could be a thing, right? I sucked at it, but I didn't do it very. Uh, then I went to work for a guy who very successful, very successful. He was starting a new company, and he had called me and asked me to help him with it. So I did, and I created a whole section of like home goods. You know, it was all
Okay.
duck related.
Okay.
Okay. I was able to get the rights to use federal duck stamps. So I designed a line that used federal duck stamps on throw pillows, blankets, license plates, anything and everything, right? And they ended up not really moving forward with that company. And so, and they wanted me to be in sales, and I can only sit for so long. Can't. I'm not a road warrior. I can't be a road warrior anymore.
Yeah.
And I think while I was there, I'd had at least 2 surgeries. I think I broke my leg, and I think I had 1 or 2 neck surgeries. You know, and he was so gracious to me to be with me when I went through all that. But we just mutually went our separate ways. Is all. You know, I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna get paid and not work.
Sure.
So, uh, but that was pretty much, I guess, my job history. Yeah, nothing. The duck call did well. I guess obviously the EMS and fire was a lot of fun until it wasn't. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that services are starting to implement things that can hopefully create some more longevity in EMS. Um, and get paid more, because if you get paid more, you don't have to work so much overtime.
Right.
You get more time off, you know. But uh, it it's hard once you leave that profession, or it has been for me. Uh, Figure out what my next life is. Like for me, I thought it was the duck hunting deal, rock solid, and I didn't know I had these problems. You know, like the filming. Thinking back, it was a great way for me to, even though I was with somebody, you didn't talk a lot. When you're hunting some, it was kind of a way for me to isolate and then also drink, because there was always alcohol involved. Not while we're hunting, but at
Right.
night and stuff. And drinking over fire, over useless conversations that we thought were more important than what they,
Right.
you know, um, just. And then when I had the duck call business, you know, uh, that would still be a great business, you know, but I don't have that anymore either, you know.
Man.
So, but that's just me. Other people that leave that profession, they thrive, man. You know, doing whatever it is they're doing. There's a lot more opportunities for paramedics, to work non-EMS jobs. But I guess that was pretty much it, you know.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, it's good talking to you again,
yeah,
and
man.
I'm glad you came back on here to
Me
share some
too.
more of your story and
I
all that
appreciate you
good
asking.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you asking, man. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad. I'm so glad that y'all podcast and now your other things that are starting to grow. Super happy for y'all, man.
Appreciate that.
You know, you keep doing good things keep happening, but there's going to be struggles.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
There's always struggles.
Yeah. Don't keep them struggles to yourself.
Right.
You know, let people help you. Yeah.
Right.
This is way off the subject. I saw this video on YouTube, and this guy, somebody was filming, you know, with a phone or whatever, but he would go up to these random people and he'd be like, I need to tell you something. Don't think I'm a weirdo, because I'm not. I believe that more people that don't know each other should tell each other that I love you.
Right.
And he told him it, and the response was crazy. Like they were just random people in Walmart or something, right?
Right.
The response was so cool. So I said, well, I'm going to try that. And I did. You can't imagine people were like, can't imagine how much I needed that
Right.
today, right? You have a little mini conversation with them, and I mean, it's a blessing to them, but it's a big blessing to me,
Right.
right? I would challenge, especially me, and I think it'd probably be weird for a woman to go up and tell a dude. I would challenge men to do that and try it,
Mhm.
because you're gonna get some people that are assholes, right?
Of
And
course.
I just try and pay attention to the Holy Spirit to nudge me, right? Cause I don't go up to everybody, hey, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm not doing that. But I just get that nudge, you know, and I just say, hey, I want some, no, I love you. And the smile, and, you know, men and women, they, you know, give me a hug, whatever. It's cool. It's cool for me. And
Right.
I challenge any man to do it and try it. You know, we need more.
Absolutely.
We need. I'm not like a huggy, touchy, feely guy. Feel guy. I'm feeling pretty masculine. I haven't been demasculated,
Right.
but we gotta quit. We gotta quit arguing and bitching over stupid stuff. You know, and acting like fools. Something as simple as, if you see somebody drop something, if you can, go pick it up.
Right.
Hold the door open for somebody. Let them go first, right?
Right.
Standing in line, just talk to them. Uh, but what we see, I live in Arkansas, you live in Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
The things that we see, Minnesota, New York, California, Seattle, those places, it's not a deal here. It doesn't happen here.
Right.
Right? But just the act of kindness to somebody like that, that can be a lifesaver for that day.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a
Change their
life.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, um, I think when I was so suicidal, you know, could anybody have said something that would have changed that train of thought, and I wouldn't have kept going down that road that day, that night, you know? And, for me, I mean, my wife found me during the day. I was sitting under a tree. She didn't know I had my pistol in my hat, you know, but I wouldn't talk to her. But
Yeah.
is there some, you know, I think if one of my buddies would have called me, I'd have talked to. What if somebody said, hey, man, I just want you to know I love you and you matter,
Right.
you know? Maybe, maybe that could have, like, took my conscious and unconscious mind off of it. Just never know,
Right.
you know? We've all got servant's heart. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done the jobs. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Right.
So Yeah. Just try it.
Absolutely. We do every day.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
You
I
know,
enjoyed talking to you, brother.
Yeah, we definitely love and appreciate all of our guests. You know, we love you
Oh,
for
yeah.
coming on here, and
Yeah.
like you say, your life matters. All of our first
Mhm.
responders' lives matters, and everybody's
Yeah.
life matters.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's life matters,
hmm
and
And somebody
it's
loves
just
you.
absolutely,
God loves
absolutely.
you, you know?
And I'm always
Um,
trying to be kind and generous to people.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, for sure. Like there's a dude that he'll be sitting in front of a store or something. He don't have no shoes on. It's like, can you
Mhm.
spare $1? Like, where's your shoes? Well, go get him a pair of shoes, right? He'll put them on and be like, take them off. I don't really need these shoes. I've got shoes. I'll just wait for the first person to be kind to me. I'm gonna
Mhm.
give them $500 or $1,000. Then, if
Yeah,
their story is like, I guess if he thinks is impactful, he puts something up on GoFundMe or something, and they'll raise enough money to buy somebody a car, and he'll surprise
right,
them with a car, right? Dude, that would be the ultimate. You know,
right.
just walk around, create a scenario, you know, and do something like that. Holy cow, that'd be the best job ever.
Yeah, that would be.
You know, for sure. But definitely, I think it's hard for first responders to be empathetic once you've done it for a while.
Yeah,
I think it's really hard.
can
You know,
imagine.
yeah. But yeah, maybe we can do this again about something.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's all the time I have for you today.
yeah,
But I definitely appreciate you coming on here, and we do love you, brother. You know, you
yeah.
matter, and
Love you,
that's why we
man.
get a hold of you
Yeah,
and have you come back and
yeah.
talk again.
Appreciate it. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate what you're doing. You know,
Thank you.
um, it can it matters in people's lives, even if it's just one person, one day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Keeps it from maybe, man. They hear one of your guests, it hits home,
yeah.
right? I'm having these thoughts. He wouldn't talk to somebody. Maybe I should go talk to somebody, right?
Right,
Or maybe I'm not gonna get drunk today. You know, maybe I'm gonna tell my wife and kids I love them.
right.
You know, write my wife a little love note. Because I think when you do that, we talk about self care. Self care for people for is different for some people. Me, self care is trying to do something for somebody,
Hmm.
and they're really thankful, and the what that does for me. I didn't realize it forever, but
Right,
I think that's how a lot of us can work on ourselves, is just being kind.
right. That's part of self care.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, all right, love you, brother. Love what you do.
Love you too, man.
Pre- all right, man. Appreciate you.
You have a good one.
You too, bro.
Say hi to everybody.
Yep, you too. Be careful,
Take
okay?
care. Yep, you too.
All right. See you, buddy.
Bye.
That's going to wrap up this off-duty conversation. Thank you for spending time with us and for being part of the 8158 community, where we honor the stories in uniform and the lives lived beyond it. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the 8158 podcast so you don't miss future off-duty conversations and our regular Sunday episodes. Until next time, stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you back on duty soon. Salud.